Okay, how we're looking. Pretty fresh. Hello everybody, my name is Senkara and welcome to Crimson, Gray Dusk and Dawn. This is the sequel to the visual novel Crimson Gray, which if you haven't seen, then go watch that first. It'll be like there, somewhere, I guess. Yeah, you guys voted for it in the Discord chat, and if you haven't joined the Discord chat, then be sure to join, link at the bottom of the description, and subscribe to continue the series with me. But yes, Crimson Gray Dusk and Dawn is the sequel to Crimson Gray, and I'm very excited to get into it. I will also be playing Detroit Become Human after this, as there was a tie in the voting for the game, so there you go. Author's note, this game is a direct sequel of the original Crimson Gray, and will make less sense if you didn't play the first one. So go watch me play the first one. Okay, then I played the first one. I am done. Let's get on to it. I played the first one. So what ending? Did I get the right ending or what? It doesn't matter? I don't know. A melancholy melody echoed within her and Lizzie clung to it. Ooh, the art style's updated. Okay. There was a time when the melody hadn't been with her. Oh no, it hasn't updated. It's just colored. Right. Forgot Crimson Gray's all great. Though she preferred not to think about that time, that was before she met him. The melody was sad, but it was his, and she loved it. And it was certainly better than the emptiness. I love this melody too, to be honest. I keep crapping on about it in the first scene. Lizzie had expected that meeting a special person would change everything, and it had. But to her surprise, it hadn't happened all at once. Instead, they both grew and changed, their life together becoming even more wonderful, and her mind growing to encompass it. Interesting. Yet she had a difficult time pinpointing exactly when she had first heard the melody. It would have been romantic if it had appeared at some momentous occasion, such as when she first met him, or when they made love, or on some future day when they were finally married. But instead, it had slowly emerged, whispering at the edges of her mind. Smiling to herself, Lizzie began to contemplate the beginnings of the melody more thoroughly, but at that moment, her world was disrupted by two people approaching her. Who are these guys? So, we're playing as Lizzie now? Yo! Oh, that's something. That's something else. Okay. Her eyes flickered over... Whoops. Her eyes flickered over their substanceless bodies, analyzing everything about them. She distantly knew the girl's name, had only seen the boy on several occasions, both sophomores like John and her. Okay, so we do have John with us. What's the deal then? No physical threat. That's interesting how she thinks, like immediately just, no physical threat. Lizzie had seen the two of them holding hands on the campus green, and the pupil dilation judged them to be a couple, so unlikely to be a threat to her relationship. But now that they were approaching her, she put on her usual smile and considered them more carefully. That's so interesting. Oh, I love when you play as the Yandere and you get to see in their mind and how it works, and it's just so, like, it's messed up, it's different, but it's very interesting. The boy was normal enough, but the girl, she was rather pretty, and she just dressed fairly well. It would take so little for her to try to show off what she had. Well, yeah, but you're really pretty and dressed really well too, Lizzie. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm guessing this is in Lizzie's mind. See, I've seen that image and I'm like, oh, is she trying to steal us? But no, it's all in Lizzie's head. Was that a teasing glint in her eye? Lizzie's smile widened just a bit as she reclassified the girl as a minor threat. Hey, sorry to interrupt. It's Lizzie, right? That's right. Nice to meet you. She responded politely as they introduced themselves, only tracking the information for future reference. Once putting on a friendly mask had been difficult for her, an imitation of someone she had only observed. Now she could fake it more easily, mirroring real emotions she had when she was with him. Oh, Lizzie, oh man, I love you so much. It irritated her to waste her smiles on random people who didn't matter, so as soon as possible Lizzie encouraged them to get to the point. We're trying to start a social thing for other couples on campus. They may be about the same age, but hanging out with single college kids isn't the same, you know? Right. We don't have many people yet, so if you have any ideas, we're open to them. Either of you. Your husband's name is John, right? Husband? Okay, so this is a direct sequel after we got married. Man, we got married in college? Wow! Why did she know his name? Lizzie's smile became brittle as she stared over the girl again, searching for the slightest tick that might give her away. She had played it off like she wasn't sure about his name, but she knew. Lizzie was sure of it. Lizzie, calm down. Perhaps her analysis of the threat was wrong. She had dismissed them as a couple but neglected to consider how impure most love was. The girl might ignore her partner and target John. Jeez. Or they could be one of those sexually adventurous couples she had read about, prowling for other couples. Lizzie had not given a single real thought to the subject until that moment, when bloody hatred clawed itself out of her soul. I doubt that, Lizzie. It's okay, she just knows his name. Just as she was about to let those emotions leak out onto her face, Lizzie heard the melody again over the beating of her heart, but sad but calm. She wasn't sure what John would say to her, but the thought of him soothed the growing rage. It was also possible that the girl hadn't wanted to seem too forward, like they had been tracking them. Checking their faces more carefully, Lizzie saw hints of nervousness and forced casualness. She set aside her main concern, flagging it as a potential problem for future consideration. Only a tiny fraction of a second had passed. Lizzie gave them both an apologetic smile. That's very kind of you, but it's hard for us to have much of a social life. We're trying to get our degrees quickly. Oh, that's a shame. The offer is still open, though. Let your husband know, okay? Okay. Interesting. With that, Lizzie brushed past them as quickly as she could without seeming rude. Despite the potential threat and new source of danger to consider, she also felt a little warm. People thought they were married? They were often together on campus, but Lizzie had thought she'd restrained the majority of her affection when they were alone. Wait, so we're not married? Why the hell would you assume that they're married? We're at campus, wouldn't you assume, oh, they're dating? What? That's just silly. Okay, whatever. The warmth drained away slowly as Lizzie went about her business, though. They still weren't married. John was willing to tie the knot, but the thought of it made her heart leap into the chest. Okay. It had nothing to do with the idea of being with him. Lizzie berated herself at the very thought, and everything to do with how she was sure. What? And everything to do with how she was sure that the wedding would draw bad luck on. And everything to do with how she was sure that the wedding would draw bad luck to them somehow. At first she hadn't wanted to get married because she was afraid that the official record would draw Koitek down on them somehow. But over 2 years had passed since the violent incident, and it was clear that they had escaped. Enrolling in college hadn't drawn any negative attention either, so it was safe for them to get married. That's good. And yet, something would go wrong. Even if they didn't invite anyone, she was sure that someone would ruin their day. And while no one could possibly ruin their relationship, she would only have one wedding day, and she wanted it to be perfect. It's a very pessimistic way of thinking about things. Normally I'm good for realism, but pessimism is what that is. Suddenly, the people around her were too many. Faceless, soulless creatures moving past her indifferently. The drone of their voices droned out the melody. Stopping in place, Lizzie frowned, struggling to regain it, but his melody had drifted out of her mind, and no amount of thinking about the joy she felt with him would bring it back. Checking the time, Lizzie decided that she had enough before she needed to get to class. Normally she preferred to arrive early, but that was no longer her priority. The gentle buzz of class, which she usually found passable, if a pale second to being with him, would now only disrupt her. It was difficult to hold herself back, but Lizzie managed to sprint across campus no faster than an ordinary runner. This wasn't the first time, and someone from the track team had actually tried to recruit her. Good on her, she's a fast one and a strong one. Everyone should try to recruit a Yandere in their team. That was unacceptable. The track uniforms were flattering, but everyone would be wearing them. Of course, he would come out to the events to be supportive, but that meant his eyes would be assaulted by the entire female track team. That could not be allowed. Oh man. Why is my mouse the mouse is moving on its own? What the hell? Whoa, why is it doing that? No! Oh, what? No! No! Oh, it wants me to go. Oh my goodness, that's so cool. I mean, it's such a little thing, but it's so cool and shows how Lizzie's mind operates. She wants to kill them. It's telling her to kill them just to be safe. Just to be safe is the thing, because that's what justifies it, just to make it safe, because they're a threat to her in a relationship. But no, let it go, Lizzie. Let it go, Lizzie. John would want you to let it go. Oh, that's good. But what will we choose? Find out next time on Crimson Gray Dusk and Dawn. Thank you so much for watching. This has been quite the start. Oh, I am loving how this is playing out. And we're back at it again with the cliffhangers, because I know you love that. 10 out of 10. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. My name has been Senkara, and until next time, see ya. Cool, be sure to subscribe, because this game, oh, I can tell this is gonna be good. Oh, yes.